Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And according to Variety, cable TV news networks, including MSNBC and CNN, are in hospice.
Wow.
That's not a very good endorsement, right? Coming from Variety.
No. I also mentioned Sci-Fi and E on there.
Yeah,
they're all just dying.
This isn't the only article. There was actually one in the Hollywood Reporter too, saying that the end of TV is here. That this is it. This is the end of linear television as we know it. And the audience has basically shifted to streaming, which is why streaming costs as much, if not more, than cable did.
Right. Well, they said about the Oscars and stuff, they were going to be on streaming.
Yeah.
And I know Tubi and Fox got like millions of dollars. They were streaming. The game of Tubi was.
Yeah, it was like $800 million in Super Bowl ad revenue or something like that.
Lot.
So we'll talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about MSNBC, their ratings. Apparently, just a disclaimer here, they actually have gone up considerably since they hit the floor because Maddow's back and they're doing their 90 days of Trump.
Basically, they're just going back to trying people who hate Trump to give them something to to cling to.
So I'm wondering, one, I think it's going to be short-lived. Two, how many people are watching MSNBC and The View and stuff like that just to watch these people have meltdowns to clip it? Because that seems to be the big talking point is oh my God, look what Joy Reid said. Look what, Rachel Maddow said. Look at what Whoopi Goldberg said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but they're saying overall though, these networks are in hospice, and that's coming from Variety. So inside the cable TV hospice, can NBC Universal's divorce from MSNBC's Sci-Fi E and more prolong the life of once popular channels? Short answer, no. But it's wild. Like MTV, people don't understand to our generation how important MTV was. I think it was a lot more important to me than it was to you. I used to watch it all that time.
Oh, we had it on all the time too when I was younger, but it went all reality shows and no music, and I didn't care anymore. Yeah,
that's when most people started tuning out, I think. A true story.
I thought you were going to bring it up. I was going to ask you to bring the real world story.
I'll bring it up again because it's been a while since I talked about it. I actually was almost on the Real World San Francisco. I was in the top 25, and it turned out I lied about my age. So I was disqualified. I wasn't, because I wanted to go on so bad, and I was like, well, I'll just say I'm older than I am, and who's gonna know? Well, yeah, it turns out they check those things. Anyway, that's okay because I would have been on with Puck, and Puck was absolutely disgusting, and I probably would have hit him.
Probably.
I think I physically would have assaulted.
So you would have been the artist on there. They were looking for the artist type.
Well, yeah, because Judd Winnick was on there. So they wouldn't have had us and him. So I'm sure if I was on, he wouldn't have been. Because they're looking for certain types, and they kind of put you in a type oh, okay, well, you're the young, naive artist. Okay. So we'll put you in as this particular type. But yeah, so my family only lived an hour from San Francisco, so it wouldn't have been a big deal. But anyway, that's my near brush with the real world. But they said MTV is completely irrelevant now. They said you can buy t-shirts.
It's been for years.
Yeah, you can buy t-shirts at Target, and that's it. But
it's relegated to a brand for selling merch, yes.
Yeah. I said MTV is not alone. The traditional cable television business that gave rise to CNN, USA Network, ESPN, Nickelodeon, TNT, Discovery, and A&E networks is in steady decline.
It's not steady. It's a cliff.
It's over. Yeah. They're actually saying the other article in the Hollywood Reporter, they said this is basically the last year that linear TV will have any real viability.
I believe it.
Yeah, because once the boomers die off, they're the last ones probably watching cable. So once they die off, that's it. They say someone called a state of decay made worse by a lack of investment. Cable's been waning for years. Industry veterans are still stunned to see long-established brands evaporating against the competitive challenges posed by streaming platforms in recent years. The money and resources that NBC once funneled into channels like USA and Sci-Fi has been diverted to Peacock. Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like a lot of those shows, the good and the bad that are on Peacock, they would have been on like USA or Sci-Fi or something like that.
Right.
And they said,
I remember when USA had shows on it. I mean, I still do, but I remember like they always had their own like original shows all the time.
Yeah, USA was weird because that was another one I used to watch a lot of because we had cable early, but they used to run a lot of like Riptide, Airwolf.
I love Riptide and Airwolf though.
They would run those. They had
they did. They had like La Femme Nikita and Silk Stockings, weren't those?
Yeah,
USA?
yeah. I think they were. So they started out. If I remember correctly, they did reruns of action shows, and then they started making their own shows. Mm-hmm. But then they had. I watched it mostly for wrestling because they had Monday Night Raw. That was huge, and it was huge for wrestling.
I liked American Gladiators.
American Gladiators, yeah, I think that was on. That was syndicated too.
Yeah, that was on USA. I know they used to run on USA.
And then the Cartoon Express. I used to watch Cartoon Express.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was like all the Hanna-Barbera for like 2 hours, But yeah, it's just. I mean, it's not really necessary though because you think about it, and it's like most of this content you can get it on streaming. You want to watch a particular show, you just binge it on streaming.
Well, I'm looking at the Sci-Fi. I remember when Sci-Fi launched. And the first stuff they ran was like Star Wars, wasn't it? Well, I know they used to have the thing with Carrie Fisher, where she'd host the Star Wars movies and stuff. But that was Sci-Fi. But I remember when Sci-Fi launched.
Yeah, and it was actually spelled like Sci-Fi before it became Sci-Fi.
Yeah, it was before it was Sci-Fi. Yeah,
before it was Sci-Fi, and then I remember they changed it to Sci-Fi, and people were like, "What the frick is going on?" I still remember the Dune miniseries, which I actually thought were. I mean, the budget wasn't great, but I thought that they were decent enough. Mm-hmm. I think I actually bought those on DVD, didn't I? Yeah, because we're watching.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, they said, it's just gone off a cliff. They said NBC is going to hold on to the NBC network and Bravo, but essentially is going to divorce itself from the not inconsiderable problems faced by 7 outlets that were once the backbone of their TV division: USA, CNBC, MSNBC, SIFI, Oxygen, and the Golf Channel. Oh my God, the Golf Channel.
Oh, they're getting rid of Oprah Winfrey's. Isn't it hers? Hers is the Oxygen. I think that's hers.
Yeah, that's hers. I remember that was a huge deal too. They're like, Oprah's got her own cable network. That's fantastic. She's huge. They're also getting rid of Fandango and Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't know that they even know. I can't keep track of who owns what.
That's interesting. They're dumping Fandango and Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my God, it better not be. So we have like 1,000 movies on Vudu.
That's what I was just going to bring up was Vudu. I was just going to mention that.
And then Vudu got sold to Fandango. And I'm like, that's great. You know what? I am going to freaking put my fist through a wall if somebody buys it. And they're like, yeah, all those movies that you've been collecting for the last like 10, 15 years. Yeah, guess what? You don't own them anymore.
Well, I've been going and trying to buy up DVDs at garage sales and stuff of things we have on there just to make sure we have backups. Yeah.
Your favorite movies, buy physical because you have no idea how long they're going to be available on digital. And what they'll be like, it'll be like some other streaming, like Netflix or somebody buy it, but you're like, hey, that's cool. Yeah. Hey, if you subscribe to Netflix, you can have access to all the movies that you already paid for.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you have to subscribe to Netflix every month to make sure that you get to watch those movies that you already paid for because they're not really your movies. You're leasing them. They're not really your movies. But they said, yeah, Warner Brothers is in trouble too.
TNT, TBS, they're getting sold off or whatever.
Everything we've known. But I think about now, like the kids, again, they grew up watching YouTube and Netflix when it first started, doing the streaming movies and stuff like that. And this is all they've ever known.
They would always choose online streaming and YouTube and things online over, linear TV.
Yeah.
Even when they were little, like when linear TV was still popular, unless it was like on the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or something like that, so like Sam and Cat and all those shows, they would pick streaming.
Yeah, and a lot of their favorite shows when they were kids actually were garbage that they would just like throw on Netflix early on because they didn't have good stuff, they didn't have any original stuff, so it was like they had all these like garbage tier, you know, like Christmas specials and stuff like that. But the kids would watch it because it was there. I still remember buying our first TV that had the smart TV that had the capability built into it, and they were expensive. It was like a $2,000 TV.
We lucked out though.
Yeah, you got on like HSN or something.
No, we got.
The very first one we bought didn't have it built in. It was it was a flat screen.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. We got flat screen for $100.
But yes, it was like HSN or something. I got the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. What's that have to do with anything? Nothing.
Well,
really.
No, I'm just saying. Like we went from that in the span of 15, not even 20 years, like 15 years, where it was a novelty to have a TV with Netflix and stuff built into it, to cable basically being dead. You know, I mean, that's how quickly it happened. It was just like, and I remember people would come over and be like, oh my gosh, it's so neat. You can watch movies on your TV through the internet. Isn't that amazing? 15 years later, boom. Yeah. What's cable? Who cares?
Right.
You know,
and everything has a cycle.
Yeah. But this, what they're saying is this happened faster than anybody could have predicted. And it accelerated during the pandemic, but that's also the company's faults too, because they put all of their resources into building up streaming and they left their legacy brands just rot.
Right. You know? I don't think it's faster than anybody expected. Like you say about it happened so quickly. I think it didn't happen that quickly personally, but I think the companies knew that they wanted it to go that way, so they did what they could to make it happen faster. Yeah.
Well, they said sports was pretty much the kiss of death. This is on the Hollywood Reporter. They said that 2025 is the last gasp of linear TV. And once they took the sports, that was pretty much it. Because a lot of people subscribed to cable or to DirecTV just for sports.
Well, yeah, that's true. And they're going to start doing skinny bundles for sports and stuff too. So they're just going to take... Oh, this one got me, though. This was interesting to me. The most original streamed series of 2024, and other than Futurama, which they acquired, none of them are Disney. There's not a Marvel. There's not a Star Wars. It's almost all Netflix and Prime Video on this list.
Yeah, and it's all over the place, too, which is really weird. I mean, it's like some of these I've heard of. Some of them I haven't heard of at all. And then Gabby's Dollhouse.
Oh, yeah, it's really popular with kids.
Okay, but you think like Bluey would be on there or something, right?
You'd think, but
it's not original. It's not an original series. That's probably why. But yeah, like Disney is just not. I mean, for all their talk of how big their streaming platform is, they're not really burning it up with any one individual like must see show. And they talk about Disney a little bit and all that, but they said basically for like MSNBC and CNN to survive, they're going to have to transition to digital, to streaming. And so that's why CNN, I think, is going back to the CNN Plus idea, which they got rid of as soon as Zaslav came in. They said that's stupid, get rid of it. Now they're going back to it. And MSNBC, they think whoever buys that's probably going to have to turn it into a streaming network to survive.
Probably. I can't think of being linear and leaving it that way.
Oh, God, no. So anyway, there we go, guys. MSNBC and Friends in Hospice. I just think it's a very funny headline, but yeah, everything's changing. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more. Who is this guy here? Is that Movie Bob?
I don't know, but it's just like Maddow next to him.
But people thought my Maddow thumbnails were not flattering. If that's Rachel Maddow,
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh God. Anyway,
could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Party's over here. All the fun stuff's over here. We got dinosaurs and minions and basketball, and then freaking get out of here, Rachel Maddow.
And aliens.
And Siffy. That's Siffy the alien. All right. Let's wrap this up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.